Ebola by Xcos. War and art. It is so alike, but real to our watching eyes. Those who can see, of course, the rest listen. From Rwanda, I watched, listened, and read the stories. Sierra Leone and Sudan, maybe not as much as Darfur. But Uganda was a special case. No genocide yet, but I feel once the LRA has found a way to strike at the government, they would be willing to strike at those surrounding and supporting it. Human conflict never gets old. I say that with truth. These old memories of truth that see the hatred I hear about young men, young or old enough to do so in the past, willingly shipped overseas to keep the peace and enforce the protection of a foreign nation. Partial protection, more like it. Any willing body wanting to do good will travel some distance to do it. I have done so myself. It is true. I cannot lie in the name of moral ideas that I know are true. Only beasts do that. I was a beast once, walking out of the burning building, a job done, a retreat made, but a journey begun. The good I wanted to do, I look at the scars of my body, not just the scars from my forced circumcision, how that horrifically impacted my life. I am not whole, but I have been used to make progress in many fields. We all have our uses. I was put on drugs to alter my behavior, but that madness was caused from my butchering at birth. It is scientifically proven, but not known. People laugh at the truth in America, but I am not there anymore. But the hunger and hate grew free of the barriers of medicine. It is a shame, the world we live in, and the human image about to be reduced to ash itself. The hate of others for past conflicts is a sinful genetic flaw for us as a species. But it shows how powerful it/we are when it comes to fighting. No power in the world can control it all in its nation. There are flaws everywhere, and the being that brings down those flaws is crowned king. But like I said before, I was a beast, now I am an animal, living among the borders of mankind and nature. It is bliss of delight. Nature and ascension, we are not so different, you and I, a common saying, but once entire country cannot control over 1 billion people, the strain whips on. 1 million people break the chains of lies and abusive power, 200 million join. A giant anthill is being overrun with new workers. A giant clockwork circle, a giant domino effect. It only ends when we all end, then nature takes over. Animals again rule all of the earth. Maybe it's better that way. Maybe I'm saying that 'cause I'm mad, sick of it all. It shouldn't just end with words. Oh no, journeys end with actions. Each of our societies are not flawless. The list of those wronged and dead grows higher than the strongest waves in the sea. No amount of simple rebellion can undo and fix that. A blank page ends when the first woman, man of child, writes onto paper and page. The world gets worse in the shadows. Not even criminal families are so safe. They say their nations are guarded, but soon and later, war takes the population. What a shame, the first blank page yet again ends for me here. I write a story, and maybe it will become a legend in time if used right. Maybe a lesson for hope, but I know the people of this country ignorant. So let the story of a now adult child soldier struggling with orientation and an animal from another country who calls himself an activist who has murdered people to protect the future children. So I let you decide if they are both wrong. Chapter 1. Hate and Leave. Her name wasn't important, for the names of children involved in war always change. Odd, but it is true. Your old name is replaced most likely. You take on a new gang name. They killed her parents, they said, her siblings unknown, but when the LRA comes, the families flee. Even if they have nothing in their arms, no children of belongings. It is a fitting tactic, such fear, but the rumors are true. I asked her what age it happened. She can't recall what to the best her memory is. Her memory is now full of murder, cleaning an AK, and working hard while starving in what could be called a hiding place from the government troops in the Congo, the most dangerous part of Africa, where man eats man whether they are both poor, starving, or dying. There is nothing to gain from such unnatural lives, such fear and murder. There is always change. What she does remember is the day, an odd sunlight day, not bright but not dark. I can see some ironic metaphor there, some poetry perhaps. But she was a girl that her family owned land, 2 older brothers, selfish in a good way, big smiles and playful minds, nothing bad for a child, but the idea is shunned for abominations such as extreme resistance groups. They want children whose minds are branded with kill and serve, shed their blood as a common battle chant. Hard to believe such small children can fire an assault rifles with some accuracy to wipe out a small village. Most people who don't live in the city rely on the fat of the land. That's sarcasm right there. Most people in Africa starve to death, droughts, civil war, disease, and all the work to bring in the food for your family. Truth be told, I blame the African Union for not doing any good, relying on the white man to help what he has caused when he left Africa. Ironic to bring the slave master back, even when slavery is illegal in the white man's land. And me? I am an animal, nor white, black, but furred. They mostly came at night to snatch the children out of their beds. The children woke up, of course, when violently grabbed from their haven of a loving shelter. If you ask me, I would get the world's superpowers to end this nightmare. The situation is not getting better at all, but I don't point a gun at the head of the universe. Time does, and we will see when or what happens when our sun dies. Will we be ready to leave Earth and find a new planet to terraform? It matters not. We are in the present. I know what this method is, but most of the time they attack in the daylight, take their children and make them kill their siblings and then parents. Overkill if you ask me, such scaring of the mind. I feel there is no repenting for something forced onto you like that. No deity would understand what they have and are letting humanity do. I was there once, asking why something was done to people like me. Why? Because no one cared. Sure, people cry, but 20,000 worried civilians cannot persuade a nation of 23 million to act up. But with the power of a gun, that can change. I did make it change, for better or for worse. I know as a fact they give their new recruits drugs to hook them onto their fun life, to ease pain and hunger, makes them think they are doing something good. But if you need only guilty, you need only to look into a mirror. Yes, you, sitting at home, watching sports or some Playboy porno, it matters not. You ignore the world for what it all is. You see only what you wish to see. You are censoring yourself and you call yourself free. I see such irony in that. It makes me sad to think such people live their lives, saying genocide isn't real, it's a foreign nation's way of getting easy money for things they are too lazy to buy themselves. When a new world awakens, such people like that should be taken to the wall and shot. Ignorance kills. It almost killed me as a newborn. I survived, but unable to feel proper love, I walk these streets, watching, observing the people who work so hard and suffer, thinking they are the future. Change doesn't happen without pain, death, and tragedy. I hope they have enough money for a mass grand funeral. Africa is ready to explode in some areas. The white man can't help all. He helps those to look better in the International Council. He does so to make more power and an image of his nation. He does so to make deals along borders he does not control. Easy thing it is to escape from borders. A country can't control what happens beyond them, not without expensive intervention, and money is the only thing keeping Africa alive while it starves. In truth, Africa is a rich nation, but again forced to slave down its earnings to businesses set up to ensure its goods get out of a rabid country quick and safely, no incident at all. Billions in diamonds, gold, illegal materials, fresh fruits, animals, and so forth. But she starves like the other children. She is an adult now, 16. She knows it. And the population of the LRA may grow thin, but rape is unavoidable. It is a dirty and grimy way to repopulate. So my advice, castrate the assaulter. But this is how her life does. In the morning, she does what she needs to, given simple routines, not much time for eating, always on guard, work, and choirs, but she was different now. As a child, love was a silly thing. Here it was gross and invasive. I often wonder how we both met, but it is obvious our paths and choices in life play a magnet role for many. Although the encounter may not last long, our memories are shared. You are like me, you suffer like I do, you hate what you hate, you thrive almost. From breaks to smoke drugs, whether cannabis of some other narcotic stolen from a dead government supply truck, the smoke was good to inhale. Some of them relaxed, they didn't care if they died for the moment. They were having fun doing a dangerous job. They laugh joke about their dead friends, some swearing. The day goes on, not enough food, but enough drugs to shut out the feeling. Life was shit here, but you couldn't leave so easily as being shot, not a whining solution. It's my turn to speak. What I have done doesn't matter. I remember walking out of the burning building, a job well done, some bullet holes in my torso I think, gun in hand, my worn and bloody Kevlar vest, so much blood, but ironic it is for them who had spilled it, hurt and killed children, such a malpractice returned. I was to be a nurse, then possible a medical assistant. I knew some things about first aid and critical stabilization. I let time and the pain heal me, runaway defense to murder. To rampage in Louisiana, I was gone when they came to help. I will tell you as a fact, I am, was a beast, violent on such things of what is done and is being done to them. I tried to save what I could, you can't save them all. It sucks, but it is the truth. The name I go by now is Machujo. It's Swahili for husk. It's what I am, an animal. I tried to keep things diplomatic, but I was nearly beaten to death for it. So I turned the irony of what was done to me, such malpractice, but it worked. I was a porcupine standing tall, a bloody scalpel, a hunting shotgun, so many bodies behind me burning. This state was to be my home, but now it will be a police state for hunting me. But they never did. I left Baton Rouge quick. The hospital where I was ahem. Raped, I overloaded the main gas valves. That was when I was done, shooting and looting. Getting animal-based revenge on the doctor who had done it. Torture was a fitting example of what I did to him. I made sure his hands couldn't be used again. It worked. Violent amputation with a chainsaw, cauterizing the flash. No nerves would regrow. Then castration, my gift to him after all these years. I am an American porcupine. Call me sick, but I don't like having the most sensitive part of my body ripped off for medical purposes. She looks at me with an odd face. We are both killers, but there is no real irony in that. She kills because she is forced and trained to. I kill to protect others. Are we the same? Animal and savage young woman? We are not in ideas, but we do the same work each day. She is puzzled. MGM is very common in Africa, yet I am against it. She laughs until I say, "Tell me what you know about it." She doesn't know a thing. The horrors of militia life. I am surprised she has not been raped yet. Not many girls can go through the bush to raid and kill. Most are sex slaves. It must be her appearance. He looks almost male with those worn fatigues on. The air is the same. I wonder why it is that I am not dead yet. Sure, we could have shot each other, but I knocked her gun to the ground, quill shaking, stitched wounds hurting from the adrenaline buildup, and dehydration setting in. Life was never easy here, which is why we stuck to raiding government supplies. We got along, we killed, but she is learning from me, my methods of knocking out someone. She goes to shoot them in the head when I am done, but I fester with her. Why do that? He has not seen us. More dead means more soldiers on the roads and forests. She never wants to go back. Girls are cut, raped, and slaves to the men and their needs. Typical African stuff. I am not surprised, but grumpy hearing more bad shit from day 1 to day 67. I constantly take quinine, but I have bug nets to keep malaria out. Call me an overcautious pincushion. I didn't get this far from not being careful. She has much to learn, Bangji. That's her nickname. Bang bang, they're dead. These days have just begun. I expect to get shot in the back, but I know her abilities. We will see.